Hello everyone and welcome to another highlight video for the Humongous Wombats season mode. This was from the first game of the Super Entire Nation Tournament where we were the road team against the Nutty Bananas. New team, new stadium, new opponent. It was a very exciting atmosphere and we got right to it in the top of the first with Ahmed Khan seemingly grounding out, but a wayward throw from the second base area leads to Ahmed getting to third, and Pablo Sanchez comes up and hits the first pitch to straightaway center field, and it is a classic sacrifice fly testing the arms of the Bananas here, but Ahmed is able to score and we are on the board early. But in the bottom of the first, Dominique Lowe is going to lead off with a line drive to center that just squeaks by Keisha Phillips, allowing Dominique to come up with an extra base. So it's an early threat as Frances Bluer comes up next, and she is going to get a beautiful inside-out swing, testing Amir Khan in right field, and he is unable to make the catch, and the game is tied before you know it, but a nice recovery as we throw her out at third base. Sonia Hagen comes up a couple batters later with a runner on second and hits it even more firmly into the gap. Great speed on second base allows them to get an easy run. And we are down 2-1. But Sonia Hagen makes a run for third for no reason, and we're able to get out of the inning with no further damage. Amir Khan, having been tested in right, decides to make up for it himself by launching one to left. First pitch of the top of the second. We were not behind for long as Amir Khan is able to tie the game. It was definitely an interesting start to this one. It was clear that the Bananas were a step up in competition. Lots of speed on their team, fairly clean in the field, but those ambitious base running plays rear their ugly head again as Kenny Kawaguchi, a few batters later, is able to get a home run of his own, following up the one by Amir Khan with Ernie Steele on first base. This home run puts us back into the lead 4-2, the bottom of the order doing some damage, seemingly setting up a back and forth game, but this inning would not be over for us. Pablo Sanchez comes up a few batters later and gets a hold of one. There's 2 outs now, but Pete Wheeler's speed is going to be the perfect thing that we need in this situation, as he is able to score easily to stretch the lead to 5-2, and Pablo Sanchez gets a clean triple. Keisha Phillips comes up next and takes the first pitch she sees to right field, and it is out of here. Beautiful swing there. And before we can even realize it, we have a 7-2 advantage. And it's just a matter of putting good swings on the right pitches, everyone hitting the ball exactly where the ball needed to go, as evidenced by that opposite field blast. And Annie Frazier takes the first pitch she sees and helps us to back-to-back home runs. First home run for Annie in a while, and it comes at the perfect time, allowing the Wombats to take an 8-2 lead. However, based on what we had seen in the bottom of the first, we knew that we would have to be sharp throughout this game, that we probably would not just run away with it, but it was nice to have the early advantage. Stan Olafson comes up in the bottom of the second and lays down a bunt. Annie Frazier throws it to Pablo, but it gets past him, and then it almost gets past Keisha, but she fields it. Olafson makes a break for second base, forcing his teammate to have to try and run to third, and Pablo chases her down for the out. So that mitigates the threat of the second, and in the bottom of the third, Chico Papas comes up with 2 outs, and he is able to get a single, but he also makes a break for it. Just pure aggression, and Ahmed Khan gets a little ambitious, throwing back to first, so they get away with it there. And Henri Deschênes is seemingly going to pop out to end the threat, but miscommunication between Pablo and Ahmed. That allows Chico Papas to score, and all of a sudden it's 8-3. But Deschênes goes for third, and we get another out on the base paths. In the top of the fourth, Ernie Steele trying to help us get some more runs. Hits a single to load the bases with one out for Vicky Kawaguchi, who hits a little fly ball, and the base runners are moving aggressively. It does end up being caught for a double play. In the top of the fifth, Pete Wheeler is up with one out, and he is going to get a nice inside-out swing. Hitting this perfectly into the gap, and the center fielder takes a poor angle, running straight into the fence, doing a little fence gliding there. And Pete Wheeler scores an inside-the-park home run to make it 9-3. Francis Bluer tries to counter in the bottom of the inning with a beautiful double down the line. Vicky this time is the one who misplays the ball, and Francis Bluer makes a break for third, but she's able to make it back to second. Henri Deschênes comes up later. Runner on third now, lays down the bunt. And Kenny overruns it so that Annie can have the angle on the throw, but it doesn't work out, and Pete Wheeler throws it out of play. So the lead is 9-4 for Sonia Hagen. Runner on third again, still only one out, and she is going to place this ball perfectly. Keisha Phillips makes the fielding play, tries to get the runner at home, but he's too fast, and it's 9-5. Next batter now, still one out, bottom of the sixth, hits it into the gap. A great series of base hits here from the Bananas. A sign that they are indeed a step up in quality, but once again, ambitious base running, but Ahmed spikes the throw. She's able to make it to second base. The threat would end there, though, and Ahmed Khan comes up in the top of the second and is able to pop an elevator pitch to right field, which is enough for Pete Wheeler to score, and we are able to push it back out to 10-6 after a little diciness there. Chico Papas is up when Francis Bluer tries to steal third. Another out on the base paths that helps us get out of a threat. And in the top of the next inning, Annie Frazier is going to hit a beautiful line drive into the right center field gap. Keisha Phillips off to the races, and Annie Frazier looking for three. We go up 11-6 with nobody out. In the top of the eighth, Amir Khan is up next, and he is going to launch it out towards center field, where it is dropped. A very unfortunate drop for the Bananas there. Annie Frazier probably would have scored either way, but then they throw it out of play. Fortunately for them, they stop the threat there, so we're up 12-6 in the bottom of the eighth as they hit a line drive double off the fence. Except that poor Henri Deschênes has run out of energy because he had to pitch, so his speed was no longer there. And in the top of the ninth, Pablo Sanchez pretty much puts the game to bed with a fantastic 3-run home run to center field. Pete Wheeler and Ahmed Khan setting him up perfectly. And this was really the first moment where we were able to breathe a little bit, even up 12-6, not fully convinced that the game was done, but 15-6 felt like a bridge too far, and Kenny Kawaguchi, who has been so good on the mound for us, is able to finish the job, getting the ground out to start, and then Stan Olafson is going to hit this one seemingly for a base hit, but we throw it to first, and he goes for it. Just terrible base running throughout the game. So many outs just handed to us, and Molly May had struck out 3 times, so she lays down a bunt just to say that she made contact in this game, gets thrown out, and we win Game 1 of the Super Entire Nation Tournament 15-6. What a contest. Hope you'll be back for Game 2.